This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by Peninsula Regional Medical Center.
Well, the latest data shows 45 million Americans suffer from chronic headaches, and there isn't a one-size-fits-all headache, especially when it comes to treating one. Joining us today to talk about the most common headache is Dr. Richard Bird, neurologist for Peninsula Regional Medical Center. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
There are several common headaches, but the most common, in your opinion, is what?
Well, I think it's pretty close between migraine and tension headaches.
Okay.
And there are multiple different kind of variations of each. Migraine is probably the one that most people are familiar with, but don't realize how many things can occur with migraine. Migraine is most often in women, tends to follow the menstrual cycle. Most of the time it comes on around puberty, tends to go away at menopause. So most people in their older age don't have them most of the time.
Okay.
Tends to get worse with periods, may or may not get better or even go away with pregnancies. So clearly it's somehow related to the hormone cycle. Men get them too, because men also have female hormones, just less of them.
Oh.
And they can be very episodic. Migraine can have all sorts of phenomenon with no headache.
Right.
Migraine is recognized for its headache, but you can get migraine phenomenon without any headache. Flashing lights, dizzy spells, vertigo episodes, numbness and tingling episodes.
Which is scary.
Can occur with no headaches.
Wow, that's interesting.
So
Now, tension headaches. You had mentioned tension headaches. I think we all get those, don't we? At some
well,
point.
not all. It is a misconception everybody gets headaches. There
Yeah.
are some people who never get headaches.
Really?
But they're very common. And tension headaches come in multiple packages too. Most of them are a feeling of tightness and pressure. They're feeling like my head is in a vice. It's tightness frequently coming from back here to the front. Many people with tension headache complain of blurred vision. The ophthalmologists make a lot of money seeing people with blurred vision from tension headaches, and they find nothing wrong, fortunately, but it's a common referred pain zone to the eyes. It can be unilateral on one side, but most often is bilateral and in the back. And can occur for numerous different reasons. We're involving the same muscles of the neck and of the scalp, and they can be involved because of injury. A common cervical sprain injury, an automobile whiplash type of injury, for example, can start these off. Neck disease.
You mentioned TMJ.
The ruptured disc in the neck can do that. A common trigger for some people are TMJ, which stands for temple mandible joint, also known as the jaw joint. It can often present with pain in the ear because the joint sits right in front of the ear, so a lot of people complain of earache. But the most common pain pattern for them is right sort of here, the temple, the forehead, and the cheek and the eye.
Interesting.
And can be aggravated by chewing. Many people wake up in the morning with this because they've been grinding their teeth at night or clenching.
Now let me ask you about treating headaches. I know that you can take medicine for a headache, but sometimes if you take it too much, you can actually get a headache from that.
Yes, more is not necessarily better. Many people develop what we call medication overuse headaches or rebound headaches because they're taking pain medication all the time. And by all the time, it's usually several times a day. And most people want to get rid of their chronic headache, so they keep taking the medication. But what happens is you start chasing the medication.
I see.
And you get a withdrawal from the pain medication, which brings the headache back. And you wind up taking more and more and more. And pretty soon you've got headaches all the time.
Not good. Yeah.
And a common daily headache sometimes can be part of actually a migraine phenomenon, which are very difficult to treat.
Yeah.
When you have them every day and the patients say, well, what am I supposed to do if you're telling me not to take the pain medication? Sometimes you've actually got to stop it for a while to try to see if you can break the cycle.
Right.
Which doesn't always work, but often does.
Now, the most misdiagnosed headache you told us was the sinus headache.
Sinus headaches are very overdiagnosed. It used to be eye strain headaches. We don't see that much anymore. But sinus headaches, particularly on the Eastern Shore, because sinus allergies and congestion is so common, that anybody with a headache in the forehead and the face and you don't feel well is so often misdiagnosed. Well, it's got to be sinus. You live on the Eastern Shore, so they give decongestants, antibiotics, and occasionally they're right. Sinuses, usually if it's the frontal sinuses and the maxillary, have a congestion feeling. The eyes may be puffy. You may have it's kind of a drip. Post-nasal drip is common when you lay down at night and you gotta clear your throat at night, commonly, and you may be running fevers.
All right.
Those people probably do have sinus headaches.
Well,
but one that's commonly misdiagnosed as sinus headache is one that's known as cluster.
Right.
And this is a nasty headache. Now, this one's more often in men, more toward middle age.
Okay.
And this is always a one-sided headache, usually in the eye and the face, with swelling in the eye, redness, tearing, nasal congestion, and it can last for several hours and keeps coming back.
All right, Dr. Bird,
Hence cluster.
We're going to have all of these headaches on our website. If you'd like some more information on headaches or PRMC, you'll find it on our website, delmarvalife.com. So much information. Wish we had more time. Just click on our show tab for that information. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. Still to come on Delmarva Life, a piece of the past coming back to life. Brian Spiros is in St. Michael's with a boat that's getting a second chance. Brian?
Well, Lisa, this is the Skipjack Rosie Parks, which is currently being restored, but this project is much more than just the restoration. It's about this man here, the man who originally built it. We'll have his amazing story when we come back. Stick around. You're watching Delmarva Life.